You know, if you're going to make YouTube videos, you need to be one of three things. Either A, you need to be opinionated. B, well-informed. Or C, entertaining. I try and be all three, but we can all agree that I am definitely opinionated. You know, I bring this up because you may or may not agree with me. You might not like my politics, my music, my Italian mannerisms. You know, you might disagree with everything I say, but, and this is the point, you and I could sit down and have a cup of coffee or grab a beer, and we could have a civilized conversation. Words would actually be spoken and communicated to one another. And we still might not agree at the end of all of that. We might still have our differences, but we could have that conversation in a polite, civilized, and intellectual manner. We are the silent majority. Not because we all think the same, but because we all think. And the obviousness of this, it's most strongly expressed in our culture. All of us look at modern culture, modern advertising, modern television, and to some degree or another, we're disinterested or disgusted by it. It's not for us. It doesn't communicate to us, and we switch it off. And that's why we're the silent majority. So let's talk about how this came about. You see, really what all of this boils down to is capitalism. Not free market economics, not Austrian economic theory, not the gold standard, not any of that. I'm talking about capitalism qua capitalism. Capitalism as a moral purpose in life. Capitalism as the purpose of human existence. That all that matters about a country is its GDP. And all that matters about a company is how much profit it drives. You know, under the capitalist ideology, something like Linux is a complete and absolute failure, as opposed to a thriving community invigorating new technologies. No, to the capitalist mind, and in one sense we're all capitalists nowadays, to the capitalist mind all that matters is profit. It's funny, we talk about environmental regulation, but we always talk about it through that same capitalist paradigm, where the environmentalists are just looking to get their share of the pie, their share of the profit, their share of the influence. They approach politics and charity and ethics the same way a corporation approaches profit. And so, our culture nowadays is capitalist driven. It's not culture for the sake of having culture. It is culture to drive a profit. And where does the profit come from? It comes from advertising dollars. And you know, there's nothing wrong with advertising. If you have a product, you want to put it out there in the marketplace. You want people to know about it. You want people to think it's cool. That's advertising, that's fine, that's normal. That is humanity. Deal with it. But you know what we've been doing for the past century? Is we've been developing the engineering of marketing. I say the engineering, not the science, because we don't know why marketing works. You know, you can go to a marketing exec, and they can give you their gut instinct, you know, based upon extensive experience using the scientific method, you know, doing test groups, seeing how people respond to things. But they can't tell you why it works. Not really. Like, there's no foundational theory to marketing. What there is practice. It's one of the rare cases where we have the engineering ability, but not the scientific ability. We do not know why marketing works so bloody well, but it does. We have been perfecting this technology, how to manipulate people into buying things. And if you listen to my podcast, recently I was making fun of the Bic Soleil commercial. It's a Bic razor for ladies that not once mentions its ability to shave your legs. The whole commercial is advertising the fact that it comes in day-glow colors to match your vibrant personality. And to any of you ladies out there watching this video, that's not going to sell you, is it? You know, a razor that says that you can dance while you're driving a Miata, that's not an argument for buying a bloody razor, and none of you are going to buy that razor. Which is why they're not making advertisements for you. This advertisement is not for you. The fact that I'm seeing is just an accident where Google seems to think I'm a 30-year-old single woman. I shouldn't have seen that commercial. That commercial was targeted. And I'm not its target. You ladies out there are not the target. And obviously you men out there are not the target. Because you are not idiots that buy stupid things that you don't need for no reason. You're the silent majority. Advertisers have figured out who their core demographics are, who the people are that buy their products, that are easy to manipulate. And it's not you. And it's not me. Everybody responds to advertising, but some people respond better than others. Some emotionally impactful Nike's commercial won't make me buy their shoes. But if they have a commercial that's a bit more complex, a bit harder to make, that might make me buy their shoes. I respond the same as everybody else, but I don't respond as readily. I'm more suspicious, I'm more conservative with my money spending. And so they've come to realize that we do not matter. We are marginal consumers. It's the race to the bottom. You want to get the fat, stupid idiots to buy your product. That's how you make $1 million. And with capitalism as a moral purpose of existence, why not? Why bother making a good product when you can make a marketable product? And these are the people that are creating culture. Now contrast the Renaissance. Say what you will about the aristocracy. To be a member of the aristocracy, oh, yeah, sometimes you could inherit the money like Paris Hilton and destroy it in a generation. But the majority of people in the aristocracy had to show some sort of excellence to be there. They're the ones choosing what sort of art got produced. Nowadays, it is the lowest common denominator. When you turn on the TV and you see a bunch of idiocy that is, on the one hand, depressing, and on the other hand, boring, that's because you're not the lowest common denominator. And that's all they care about. Get the most people so you can sell the most products. And don't bother appealing to the silent majority. Because us, we are different. We think for ourselves. We have different opinions. A commercial that would work on me would not work on you. Better to do the Bic Soleil commercial and say, buy our razor because you have a vibrant personality, you empty, shallow sloot. And so our culture is not for us. Our culture is not for the people that think and are erudite and have opinions. Even if they disagree with each other, they actually have opinions on things. No. No. The culture is for the fat, stupid morons that don't think. We are the majority. Every single day. Every single day I walk outside and I see the degenerates. But I also walk outside. And there's people, different walks of life, different priorities, different goals, different politics, different culture. And yet I can talk to those people. I can have a conversation. And we're all in agreement that this culture is absolutely bankrupt. Saying I don't own a TV is no longer a point of bragging. It's just common sense. Why would I own a TV? There's nothing on it for me. What has happened is that we've developed this marketing technology to such a high degree that the psychopaths have taken over. The monsters, the vermin, the human scum, the lizards wearing skin suits pretending to be people. These are the ones that have taken over. These are the ones dictating that all art, all culture needs to fit their marketing paradigm. And I'll tell you, the most frightening aspect isn't just that they've taken over our culture. That's depressing. The fact that we've replaced good music with auto-tuned garbage. That is depressing. That is sad. But even worse, these lizards in skin suits have taken over the moral guidance of our civilization. After all, what's one of the easiest ways to make money? Start a charity. People that actually care about charity tend to work 16 hours a day and make very little money because they're morally committed individuals. But if they weren't, there is so much money to be made in charity. And with this new technology of mass marketing, all of a sudden you can start creating charities that don't target the local school district. You try and do a Girl Guide charity in your local neighborhood. It's going to be based upon the reputations of those Girl Guide leaders. In the local community, in the small level charity, somebody's reputation matters. Their performance matters. You want to know that your charitable dollars are actually going to go to something good. But when you start getting the mass market charities, the mass market politics, the mass market ideologues, when you get to that point and you start employing that scary technology of marketing, all of a sudden the monsters rise to the top. 90% of people are at least semi-intelligent. But it's that other 10%. You get that 10%. You create the illusion of having a huge influence. You not only get their marketing dollars, you also get the illusion. You get a bunch of idiots to show up to your rally, and suddenly it seems like a big rally. It seems like something we need to talk about in the newspapers, even though it's complete nonsense. And you're seeing this time and time again. The media has completely fallen into this trap. Whether you watch Fox or CNN, they're both equally corrupt. They're both equally pandering to their demographics. The social justice warriors are no different. The slutwalks, no difference there either. This is not about doing anything good in the world. It's about a bunch of lizard people in skin suits, a bunch of psychopaths, a bunch of monsters, a bunch of broken automatons seeing an opportunity for profit. And, you know, there's this Zoe nonsense. That girl behind Depression Quest. There's Anita Sarkeesian. You know, there's the anti-porn advocates. There's the Mothers Against Drunk Driving. That's actually another fun example. I recommend you look into that. Mothers Against Drunk Driving has been increasing the number of drunk driving related deaths for the past 15 years. Thanks to their prohibitionist policies. It's not about making the world a better place. It's about making a quick and cheap profit off of the lowest common denominator. And so us, we are the silent majority. The silent cultural majority. Even when we disagree with one another, we disagree or we have differing taste in a civilized manner. Whereas the guiding beacons of the modern culture are constructed by psychopaths. So if you're feeling lonely, if you're feeling left behind by modern culture, don't. That's a good sign. That's a sign that you are part of the majority, that you are part of the civilized, sane portion of society, because you're not being targeted with these stupid advertisements for Bic Soleil razors. You're not being targeted with these idiotic sitcoms, or any of this ridiculous, disingenuous, mendacious garbage coming out of the mainstream media. You are not the target because it's kind of hard to sell something to you. We'd rather just manipulate the idiots. And the solution to reclaim our countries, to reclaim our culture, is to realize you're not alone. You know, not to create an army. As soon as you create an army, one of those psychopaths gets to the top, you've got the exact same problem all over again. No, it's to embrace your individuality. Embrace the fact that you think for yourself. And start reaching out to your fellow citizens. Because a lot of them think for themselves too. It's just that we've all been told we're the only one that doesn't believe in Big Brother. I swear I could do a whole documentary on this topic. The psychopaths, their money motives, the manipulation that happens. And it's right out there in plain sight. It's just that they control the media stream, so nobody notices it. I don't know. Maybe I'll give Jordan Owen a shout. Maybe try and do something with him. What do you think, folks? Aurini out.